Do not let the string of terrorist attacks that Israel has been launching into Lebanon deceive you into thinking that Israel is actually in a position of strength, because it isn't, both internally and externally. This news from Haaretz, that confirms it. The fact that the IDF is at this moment leveraging their power with asylum seekers to compel them to do military service in exchange for visas tells you all you need to know about the state of their recruitment. But Eliu, you say, sure, this is unethical. But it just sounds to me like they're just trying to weaponize people who are weak and that they can exploit to achieve their military goals. And I agree, but to do that, they are having to countermand decades of legislation. Because Israel is not just an apartheid ethno-state led by genocidaires. Israel is a profoundly anti-black, racist country, systemically. And nowhere is that reflected more clearly than in their treatment of asylum seekers. In 2010, the Knesset passed legislation that countermands Article 14 of the 1948 Universal Declaration of Human Rights that allows people to seek asylum. They did. It's called the Anti-Infiltration Law. This law casts every asylum seeker that comes into Israel as an infiltrator, as a criminal. Prisons were enlarged and some specially built to deal with the 30,000 people that have been seeking asylum in Israel. Now guess where these asylum seekers are coming from? Sudan and Eritrea. And guess, after processing, what is the percentage of asylum seekers that are allowed to actually stay in Israel? 1%. In other countries, the average is 80% in the case of Eritrea and 51% in the case of Sudan. And this is from an article from 2018. The number of acceptances of asylum seekers was so dire that the Rabbinical Council, an organization of conservative rabbis, has actually called on Israel in 2016 to evaluate asylum seekers' claims in a fair manner. If you're telling me that this is not a proof of racism in a country that is determined to remain white and Jewish, let me remind you that Ethiopian women received contraceptive shots without their consent because the government was concerned that their birth rates could destabilize the country. These Ethiopians went to Israel legally. Netanyahu himself is an open racist. He literally said that the massive infiltration of African immigrants to Israel was a demonstrable threat to the existence of Israel as a Jewish and democratic state. A statement echoed by his extreme right-wing coalition. So for the army to be desperate enough to have to rely on these people, something is not going well. When it comes to the government of Israel, never look at what they say, look at what they do, because they're not playing for us. They're playing for an internal audience of a population that at this moment is supporting Netanyahu even more than they were before. A population that has been purposefully educated to feel itself constantly under siege, to have no self-awareness of the impact that they have within their country or outside of it. Internally, things are cracking between an economy that is faltering, displaced people, a military that has been proved to not be very efficient, and a fratricidal discussion of what the future of the country will be. Whether it will be the polite apartheid that liberal Israelis defend, or the type of religious fascist ethno-state that Ben Gvir and its allies defend. So take heart and continue observing.